Hi, 7th graders. This video is intended to help you with your next assignment, which is writing an argumentative essay. So I'm going to basically go through the assignment with you. Then if you have any questions on how to do it, you can contact me. So we're going to start out with a quote by Mark Twain. Mark Twain once said, "Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear." Do you believe Mark Twain's statement to be true or false? So he's saying it isn't, courage isn't necessarily not being afraid of things. It is being resistant to it and overcoming it. So you are supposed to write a 500-word argumentative essay, either in support of or rejecting this quotation. So in other words, it's whether or not you agree with this. And in this case, an argumentative essay isn't meant to be an argument in the way that we think of it. You've done assignments so far to tell you what an argumentative essay and point of view is. It's basically using persuasion to get readers to see your point of view, how you feel. So you must use at least 3 pieces of textual evidence focusing on the author's use of dialogue and figurative language from readings in this unit in your essay. So, in other words, you are going to, if you decide to agree with Mark Twain's quote, you're going to find 3 pieces of evidence in the stories and myths and everything that you've read in this unit that would show that courage is resistance to fear and the mastery of fear, not the absence of fear. If you decide to disagree with Mark Twain, then you're going to have to do the opposite. You'll have to find 3 pieces of evidence in the readings in this unit that will show that that is not really what courage is. Okay? So, theme. One theme that is apparent in each of the reading selections this semester is courage. In each story, the protagonist shows courage, perseverance, and innovation as he or she overcomes both internal and external struggles. So remember, the protagonist is the main character, the character who is striving for what is good in the story. So they're showing courage, perseverance, which means stick-to-itiveness, basically, and innovation, trying out new things as they overcome struggles within themselves and struggles outside of themselves. As we've learned, writers do not simply state a theme and expect readers to accept it. Instead, they use literary devices and the voices of their characters to illustrate the themes they are trying to convey to their audience. We can find evidence of this by examining the dialogue between characters and by identifying the various metaphors, similes, imagery, and other types of figurative language the authors used. So it would be a boring story just to say, the theme is this, so-and-so did this, then that happened, then that happened. No, when a writer has an idea on a theme, they use their characters and action to show you what their theme is and show you their point they're trying to get through to you or to convey to you. So in this writing assignment, you will test your ability to identify and analyze examples of figurative language and argue their usefulness in illustrating the theme of courage as it relates to the readings in this unit. So in other words, you're going to have to identify some examples of figurative language as they relate to courage and as they relate to the stance you took on Mark Twain's quote, either in favor or against it. So, how to write an argumentative essay. Sign says, I can be persuaded by a logical argument. Okay, so we're not using emotion here. We are using reasoning to get people to see our point of view. So the purpose is to convince others to agree with our facts, share our values, accept our argument and conclusions, and or adopt our way of thinking. Think persuasion. Okay, you really want to get somebody to see your point of view, not by using emotion, but by using facts. A successful argumentative essay should contain a clear, concise, and defined thesis statement that appears in the introduction. And remember, the thesis statement is usually one sentence that summarizes the main point of an essay and is supported and explained in the text by examples and evidence. Okay, so remember, your thesis statement is at the beginning in your first paragraph, and it tells what your essay is going to be about. It summarizes your main points. Okay, so there is an example on the right. In this essay, I will argue that teachers should not have the right to ban laptops in their classrooms. Okay, that's one thesis statement. Now remember, since this isn't an explanatory essay, this is an argumentative essay, you can use the word I, because they're asking your opinion, what you think. Okay? But you need to make it well stated, just like in that argument or that thesis statement in the box on the right. But obviously we're not talking about banning laptops in the classroom. Our topic is courage. So you need to use language that is appropriate to the audience you are trying to convince. So in this case, it's pretty formal language, sorry about that, because you are writing it for your teacher. Okay, so here's your organizer, and this will help you in writing the different parts of your essay. So you should copy this down on paper, or it also will be in the next assignment, but you should copy it down either now or from the next assignment. So you're going to have your position statement, either for or against Mark Twain's quote on courage and what it is. You're going to list the important arguments or points of view used to support this position. Then you're going to list the evidence or claims that support each argument. So in other words, you'll have your position statement, and then over on the right it says arguments for your position. Have at least 3 arguments in favor of your position. Then the supporting evidence is going to be quotes and excerpts from readings from this semester, this unit in particular, but this semester it can be. And then you're going to have arguments against your position, because a good persuasive essay will say, you'll say all of the things, all of the points that you want to make, but then you'll say, now I know some people say this against it, and this against it. But then you're going to show supporting evidence that they're wrong. Okay? So more supporting evidence from the readings that we've had. So then there's a proofreading checklist. Of course, you need to read over everything you do. Remember, I always advise students to read it out loud to yourself or have someone else read it, because they'll catch errors that you might have just glossed over, or your ears will catch a mistake that your eyes have not found. Because in your brain, you think you know what you want to say, but you know, it doesn't always come out the way you intended it. So, are there any misspellings that I need to correct? If you're doing it in a Open Office or Microsoft Word, there's spell checks there. If you're doing it right in the writer box, there is the spell check built in. If you click on the top right hand corner of those arrows going around in a circle, it will show you misspellings in red. And if you click on the red word, it'll give you choices. of suggestions what you should change it to. And in green will appear the words that you might not be using the grammar correctly or punctuation correctly. So it'll give suggestions for those. Okay, you have to check, have I used correct punctuation to guide the reader through the paper? Be sure there's a period or other appropriate end punctuation mark at the end of each sentence. Remember, if you're asking a question mark. If it's an emphatic statement, an exclamation point. And that commas, semicolons, and other punctuation marks are used properly. Do all of the verb tenses agree? I'm talking about the same event, stick to a single tense. You choose either the past, present, or future. And stick with it. Check, do all of my sentences express a complete thought or idea? Have I used transitions to make the relationships among my ideas clear? Remember, transitions are, some examples are like first, next, last, then, okay, another thing. Be sure to identify 3 pieces of evidence from your readings to help support your argument. Use proper citations for quotations that you use within your essay. So, yes, you need to cite your sources, as in whatever readings you've used the quotes from. Okay, so you can do that at the end. Make sure that you've said that you've used whatever myths or legends or whatever stories that you've used. Be sure to list them at the end. Now, how will I be graded? So you're going to be graded on ideas and content, which is the main theme, then supporting details. I'm going to look for clear, focused, interesting ideas with appropriate detail. Okay, appropriate detail meaning textual evidence from stories you've read in this class this semester. I'm going to be looking at your organization, which is structure, your introduction, and your conclusion. I'm going to look for strong organization, seamless paragraph transitions, and effective and engaging intro and conclusion. Okay, you've read some about doing those things, so put those into practice. I'm going to be looking for grading your voice. In other words, your personality in the essay, and sense of your audience, that it's appropriate to your audience, expressive, engaging, and sincere. More on how you'll be graded. I will grade your word choice, which is precision, effectiveness, and imagery. Remember, you want to paint a picture in your reader's mind. I want to be able to see exactly what you're seeing in your mind. So I'm going to be looking for a broad range of descriptive words, creative examples, and vivid details and images. For sentence fluency, which is rhythm, flow, and variety, I'm going to be looking for easy flow and rhythm, good variety in length and structure. In other words, all your sentences aren't either all short or all long and wordy. It's a variety that makes it interesting. I'm going to grade you on your conventions to make sure that they're age appropriate. The spelling, capitalization, punctuation, grammar, strong use of correct conventions, and your errors are few and minor. So, if you have a question on what to do, please contact me. And since you're watching this video, you must call me for credit. There's both of my phone numbers. Try both numbers, please, as sometimes I am at one and not the other. If you need to leave a message for me to get back, be sure to leave a message at both, in case I'm not at the one you left a message on for a few days. You never know. So, good luck on your essay, and I will talk to you later. Bye.